Okay, so in this video we're going to use what is called a nested table, which is like a array, only it's unsized. You don't have to put a specific size for your nested table. So anyway, what we're going to do is, I'm in the OM schema, by the way, and here's this customers table. And I'm going to just pull all of the customer data out of the table, and we'll pretend like we're going to make some customer call lists. And I'm going to put all the customers with last names beginning with A through M into one table, and then I'll create a second table to put customers whose names begin with N through Z. So let me go ahead and it'll be kind of like in our array example where we first declare a type. So I'm in the declare section here, and I'll declare a type. And why don't I call my type cust table, and again, that's a name that I made up. You can, whatever your type is going to be, you have to make up a name for it. And we're going to say this is table. Okay, so this is a nested table. You don't use the word nested table, but that's what it is. It's a nested table. We just say table. And I think now I have to put a data type in here. This is actually going to be a row type based on the customers table. So I'm in the OM schema, so I don't have to qualify this. So I can just say customers, and then my percent sign, and then we'll say row type. Okay. So that's the first step, is defining this new data type, this new table type. Okay, cust table. And now I'm going to turn around. I'm going to create two. One is going to be the A through M's, and then the other one is going to be the N through Z's. So why don't I call my first one A through, we'll abbreviate through M. Okay, and I have to say it's of type cust table. Okay, and I'll just copy this, and I'll paste it. And this will be type, we'll call this one N through Z, also of type cust table. I'm not going to use a cursor in this program. What we're going to do is get right in here, and we're going to use the bulk collect. It's a select statement. It's bulk collect. It's in chapter 13 of your book, and that'll allow us to load or pull data from the customers table and put it right into our nested tables. So I think what I'll do first is a DBMS put line. I thought I would get my IntelliSense working there. Oh, DBMS output, I should say. Oh, there it is. Okay. And I'll put a comment here like customers A through M. Okay, so that'll show up in my output. So it'll organize my output a little bit here. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'm going to use bulk collect to load the table, the A through M table, with data from customers. Okay, so here we go. This will be a select statement. I'll say select all. That much we know. And then here we'll say bulk collect, okay, into A through M. That's the name of my nested table up here that I created. All right. And we're not done, though. We have to put a from clause, of course, from customers. That's the name of the table that we're pulling the data from. And then, okay, this is interesting. I only want customers whose last names begin with A through M. All right, so I have to put a where clause, and I have to test the first letter of each person's last name. So what I can do, I'm going to dive in. I'm going to use substring to first kind of pluck off the first letter of a person's last name. So this is customer last name. This is the name of the column in the table, customer last name. See that? Okay, this is the column in question. And so here, customer last name, I'm going to start at the first character and pull just the first character. So that'll give me that first letter of the person's last name. But what I want to do is test that and see what exactly it is. Is it A? Is it B? Is it C? Is it Z? Who knows? So what we can use is the ASCII function. And what this will do is it'll return the ASCII code of that particular character. And here the thing is, I have this somewhere. Okay, here I have, I'm at ASCIItable.com. You can just go to Google and type ASCII table and find an ASCII table of all the numeric values associated with the keyboard character. So I'm looking here, if you can see this. These are the capital alphabet letters, all right? And so A is ASCII value of 65, B is 66, and so on. And really what I'm interested in is up to and including M, which is 77. So I'm interested in ASCII values 65 through 77 here. So that's what I'll do. All right, so we'll say ASCII between, we'll use our between keyword. So we said what, 65 and 77. Okay, and why don't we'll sort these as well. We'll say, now this is optional, but we'll say order by customer last name. Okay, and then I think what I'll do is I'll just put a for loop in here. We'll say for well, why don't I use X? I'll use X as a loop counter this time. I in 1, 2, and then, you know, I don't know how many. In the last example, I knew I had 6 colors, so I was able to hard code a 6 here, but I don't know how many I'm going to have. So what I can do, this is kind of nice, I can say A through M, okay, dot count. Okay, and that will give me, you know, however many, if there are 20 in there, then that'll give me 20. This is like 1 to 20. If there are 30 in there, it'll give me 30 and so on. So that's nice. That's you see that a lot in the various programming languages. Okay, so then I'll end my loop, and then I'll do a DBMS output. Okay, let's see here. What do I want? I think what I'll do is I'll do maybe an R pad. Hopefully that'll line it up kind of nicely. We'll do R pad, and then it's our A through M table, which is where we're now pulling the data from, and then our loop counter as array index there. And first we'll go with the customer first name. Trying to watch my typing here, and then I think I'll concatenate to that a space. Okay, and then we'll concatenate to that the customer last name. I think I'll grab this and just change it a little bit here. Hopefully I can go to the next line and that won't be a problem. Okay, the last name, and then what I'll do, so this will be, I'm still in RPad, I'm still in the whole RPad. We're just padding this whole spiel here, which is the customer first name space last name, and we'll give it like 30 characters wide for that whole thing, and then with the padding that should line up fairly nicely. And then I think what I'd like to do after that is do the phone number, so I'll concatenate to that again, reaching into my nested table here, but this one is called the customer phone. And that should do it. Wait a minute, I'm missing, oh no, I'm okay there. Alright, so I have my end loop. I guess, why don't we try it now? Oh, it looks pretty good. Now I could, if I wanted to, you know, splice and dice the phone number and have it formatted a little nicer. But let's look and see what kind of people we have in the nested table. These are the A's, B's, C's, and so on. Let's make sure it stops at the M's, and it does. Okay. So maybe in the next video I'll just go ahead and add the N through Z names, but it'll be very much the same.